Good evening, everyone. Hope y'all are doing well and having a great end to your weekend. I wanted to take just a few minutes and do a video for you. This video is going to be a little different than what I've done previously. You will be hearing me and watching the screen rather than actually seeing me. So I wanted to specifically spend just a few minutes going through your upcoming assignment, as it is the first more formal writing assignment that you'll do in our class. So, as you'll note from the course calendar, and again, you'll see that right here, you have your Unit 1 literary criticism assignment due this coming Friday, February the 2nd, by 11:59. As I mentioned, this is the first formal writing assignment for the class. It's not necessarily a full-fledged essay in the sense of what you'll do later on in the class, but it is a good opportunity for you to begin to put to use some of the things that you've begun doing in the discussion boards, putting together some paragraphs, putting together coherent thoughts within one paragraph, linking ideas together, all of those things, but doing it in a more formal setting rather than just a discussion board. So let's dig into the content and take a look at this assignment specifically. So for this assignment, before you even get to it, a couple of things I want to encourage you to take a look at. Note that there are some different readings and things here that I encourage you to take a look at. Of course, this first one here deals with literary criticism and integrating textual evidence. So talking about how you can bring in evidence from a text and seamlessly just let it move into and be a part of the writing that you're trying to do. Because keep in mind, when you write anything for any purpose, of course you're bringing in evidence, but you're also making sure to balance that with your own conjecture, your own analysis, your own thoughts about whatever topic or topics, plural, that you might be working with. Also note that for this assignment, you will have a sample one that you can take a look at. This is not one that you are meant to use you're not meant to use this one wholesale. You don't use the text that's being used here, but it is here so you can kind of see what this assignment can look like, so that as you go about choosing your text and then choosing your school of literary criticism, you know kind of how to go about putting those together. Also note that there is a handy little video here at the very top of the assignment guidelines that I definitely want to encourage you to take a look at. It's relatively short, and it's meant to help give you a good starting place and give you kind of a good overview of what this assignment will be asking you for. So for this assignment, you are going to be studying you'll want to make sure to study the 4 schools of literary criticism that are found in the Module 3 resources. And if you scroll down beyond the assignment itself, you'll see them right here at the bottom. So just make sure to note that those are all here. Those 4 schools of literary criticism are formalism or new criticism, reader response, ethnic and cultural studies or multiculturalism, and feminist criticism and gender and sexuality studies. So you have 4 kind of buckets of literary criticism of sorts that you have to work with, and you can work with any of them. I've seen a lot of students take a particular text and apply it to a school of literary criticism that makes a lot of sense. It naturally would link itself, but I've also seen students take a text and link it to a school of literary thought that I would not have thought of, and they do it very well. So there's a lot of mixing and matching you can do. But before you even begin thinking about what text you want to use for this assignment, you first and foremost want to make sure that you understand these 4 schools of literary thought. And once you have a good foundation there, then you can move on to part 2, where you select your creative work. This can be a written text, such as a book, a poem, a play, an essay, a critical essay. It can be a number of things, but it has to be a creative work. So a written text, a piece of art, a video, a film, a song. It can be pretty much anything. And if you have questions about what you want to do, you want to run it past me first, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to take a look at what you're thinking about and give you some suggestions and give you a thumbs up or a let's reconsider this. So select a creative work that hasn't been referenced in the course and it's been created within the last 3 years that you want to apply to your chosen theory. So you're basically going to be taking that text and a school of literary criticism and doing some critical work with it, doing some pairing, doing some analysis of the two. And ultimately, you want to make sure to choose something that you're going to find interesting. So make sure to choose something you're going to feel comfortable writing about for a bit. And of course, when you're composing your analysis, there's going to be a couple different sections you want to consider. Of course, having some kind of introduction, having some body paragraphs, and then of course having a conclusion. So you are going to be putting together, it's an essay of sorts, but it isn't quite as structured as the traditional essay that you will write later on in the class. This assignment basically serves as a good place for you to really kind of dip your toes in and begin, if it's been a minute since you've written an essay, kind of get a feel for what writing an essay can actually look like. I won't go through every bit of what's listed here on the screen, but I encourage you to take a look at it really carefully. And then, of course, also make sure that you follow MLA guidelines. You have the document set up MLA style. You have works cited citation for any source or all sources. So ultimately, you should really have two source entries on the works cited page, one being the literary criticism you chose and one being the text that you've chosen. And of course, making sure to follow all MLA guidelines. There's a link here to Al at Purdue that will help you as you navigate that. And of course, there is a rubric here at the very bottom for how you'll be graded for this assignment. Again, I'm not going to spend much more time belaboring this. It's a relatively easy assignment. Ultimately, it serves as a place for you to begin flexing your essay writing muscles as we prepare to move further into the class. And like I said at the very start, just note that this is due this coming Friday, February the 2nd by 11:59 p.m. You will go to the assignments, and there will be a Dropbox. And yours will look a little different because you're seeing the instructor side, but it'll be the very first Dropbox at the top. And that's it. I won't take up any more time. This has gone on a little bit longer than I'd planned. But if you have any questions or concerns, and some of you have already started reaching out, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions, look over a topic, really do whatever I can to help support you as you work on this first major assignment. Last thing I'll note is that I am working on the last set of discussion boards. I will be getting those back to you throughout the week. I've been, as you've noticed with your feedback, you've been getting a lot of feedback from me in these early discussion boards. There are resources that are, of course, linked within the class and are being linked within your feedback. That is something I'm going to continue doing throughout a good chunk of the class as we move forward. I like to really go feedback heavy on the early days in this class, so you all get a sense of what I'm looking for, what are some areas you need to work on, so that as we move forward, you'll still get feedback from me, but it won't be quite as extensive as it is in the early days. So just be on the lookout for the Module 2 discussion board feedback soon and the grades. And again, reach out if you have any questions. Take care.